So this video is about how soon after having COVID-19 should you go back to exercise. Now, I'm not a health professional, doctor or anything like that, so I'm just giving my own experiences. So on the 31st of July, just gone, so just over 3 weeks ago, I started to have symptoms. I started to become unwell. So if we fast forward a bit, I went through the COVID-19 thing, and I had it. Obviously, I didn't go to hospital, but I was pretty ill. And 3 weeks later, I'm still experiencing various symptoms and side effects related to the illness. But that's not really what I want to get into here. What I made, basically, prior to having COVID, I was a very, very active person. I'm talking about going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, most weeks. Also, I was doing sort of like part-time gardening as well, which people that know, when you spend hours doing that, that's also can be quite intense. You know, you can be really exhausted afterwards. So, I mean, I've been going to gyms and things for about 25 years. So you can imagine, for different reasons, the gym, exercise, weightlifting particularly, has been a big part of my life. So I was a pretty fit person. I mean, you know, I could go on for hours doing boxing training. I was just sort of like a pretty fit person. I mean, so basically, I was. It's about today's Sunday. So it's about 3 weeks ago today, I started to get noticeably ill with a very high temperature that nearly hit 40. I don't know how you measure it. Was it 40? But it was like 39.8 on the temperature reader thing. Because the gym is such a part of my life. Yesterday, which was Saturday, I made maybe a foolish decision that I would go to the gym. Partly because, you know, I've basically been at home and hardly done nothing in 3 weeks. That's a big deal for someone like me who was so active. I made the decision to go to the gym partly because I knew mentally it makes me feel quite good as well. Okay, and I thought to myself, I could do a little light workout. It's not gonna do anything to me. Surely not. Anyway, so I went to the gym, and being the really clever person that I am, I decided to have a chest workout with some weights. But I did sort of lift. I aimed for about maybe 60% of what I would have lifted over 3 weeks ago prior to COVID. So I mean, I cut down the weights a lot, and I had plenty of sort of like breaks between my sets and exercises and things. And what I noticed is that even though I'm lifting the light weight, you know, when you do weightlifting, say chest, obviously there's pressure on your shoulders and your chest area when you're doing it. And as I was doing these exercises, I could really, it was like, honestly, it felt like I had never gone to the gym before in my life, and it was my first session. Because on my first session in the gym when I was 19, which was ages ago, you know, when you're doing like a sort of an abnormal exercise, you know, lifting weights and barbells and all these things, you know, on the first time you do it, it is a bit like, you know, you get tired quick, and I just remember, you know, it felt like quite a abnormal but enjoyable thing that I did all them years ago, and that's how it felt yesterday. And I couldn't believe it. It was like my first time. I was aware that when I was doing each rep or whatever it was, I was getting sort of tired, and I just sort of knew, like, okay, just sort of stop, leave it at that. So I didn't go to like total muscular failure as I normally do. I normally lift the weights until almost my arm can't do another one, you know, the whole failure thing. So I didn't go to that. I just lifted until, you know, it was quite difficult, and sort of I was still in control, and I put the weights back. Anyway, sorry, you know what, even now I'm actually, sorry, I'm a bit exhausted. Even now, even like just the next day. And then, but yeah, this is the weird bit. After I did about 20 minutes of weights, I almost felt like I was a bit drunk. You know, if you're like sort of holding onto something for support, and you're exhausted because you've had too much to drink or something. It was a bit like that. It was like, oh, you know, and I could sort of really, I started to feel some kind of like tightening in my chest area. And I thought, like, you know what, bloody hell, I better be a bit careful. So afterwards, I went to this restaurant with my dad, and as I was driving there, I noticed that I started breathing very, very deeply, and very sort of slowly, and it was almost as if I was becoming exhausted and out of breath, and it was almost, you know, I could still drive and focus on what to do, but it was like it's like I needed to sort of like think what I'm doing and take these big breaths, and at the same time I felt this tightening in my shoulders and sort of like my chest. That also could be partly because I haven't done anything for like 3 weeks, but do you know what? I've been ill in the past with flu in 2018, and I was ill for 3 or 4 days. And then after about 6 days or something, I totally recovered. I went to the gym and I started just, you know, more or less just doing what I wanted with the weights. Obviously I lost some strength, but I just started pumping the weights, and I never experienced anything like this. I don't ever recall breathing difficulties. And by the way, when I was actually ill with COVID, there were times where I felt the same way. I was lying down, and all of a sudden it felt slightly difficult for me to breathe, and that was really like that concerned me quite a bit, because now I sort of get an inkling of how all these people talk about, you know, they can't breathe and ventilators. It sort of like it sort of brought it home to me a little bit, although obviously I haven't been that ill. So and I was really exhausted in this restaurant, and I just like, it's almost like a bit like now actually, I was sort of struggling to like talk a bit, and that's when it sort of hit me that, like, bloody hell, maybe I've overdone it, and perhaps I actually watched some videos yesterday where people who do exercise, they did actually say, you know, you should go and have a checkup with the doctor before you go back to any kind of exercise like that. So I guess what I'm saying now is maybe that's a good idea. Maybe, you know, if you especially do anything strenuous like weightlifting, if that's what you normally do, I'd say it's probably a good idea to go to your doctor and get just, I don't know what they do, health checkup, blood pressure, whatever it is, just to get the sort of like the thumbs up that, you know, you're going to be okay to do it. To be honest with you, if I look back to what I did yesterday, I probably still did more than what I should have done. And if I just got really ridiculously light weights, do you know what? If you're going to do what I've done, just go really, really light. Forget all this failure bullshit and muscular failure. Forget all that. Just go for the enjoyment of the atmosphere of the gym, and go for mainly like your mental health. So you're just, you know, feeling better in yourself after, and so, you know, all this vigorous exercise that you might have done. Like I said, to go to the doctor, let them make the decision. But I guess I'm just like warning. I didn't expect that I would feel as exhausted as I did last night. and I'm just like, it's just a warning, this video, really, because I know I know people that have had, if you've had a heart attack previously, I mean, my heart is really, really strong usually, but if you have had a heart issue or heart attack prior, and then you've had quite a serious illness of COVID, and then I'm just warning you, if you make the stupid mistake of like just going into some exercise class or something like that, I'm just a bit worried, because like I said, if it could make me really feel quite exhausted and a little bit struggling to speak last night, and like I said, I am sort of like physically, I was super fit, and I've been like that for like years and years. But if you've had a heart attack or something, I'm just a bit worried what might happen to you after going to just to sort of go and a bit not know what you're doing and go a bit over the top with your exercise. Because the thing is, when I was doing the actual exercises yesterday, I sort of still felt I could persevere with it, although I was aware I was a lot weaker and everything. It's more afterwards, it's like 10 minutes after I stopped everything, that's when I started to get a bit concerned about what I've done. And like I said, if you've had a history of heart issues, I'm worried what could be triggered off. I mean, you might have another heart attack or something. So that's it, okay? I just wanted to like say this to you all, and that's it. Thank you.